Hey everyone, welcome back again. This is the Iconist Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Barry 3D for Deep Dark Delicious Carter. On my side, as always, my other host.
I shall be DJ Rod C. Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Scare everybody on the phone. What? Sorry about that, everyone.
Keep them on the toes, Rod. Keep them on the toes.
Get you dancing.
Man, you got to keep on dancing. Got to have that rhythm, baby. Okay, so once again, thank you all for tuning in. As I said, the Iconist Podcast. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. It's not a secret, and let it get around there. Let the world get out there. Hopefully, you've been participating in our straw polls that we've been putting up. This way, it kind of generates more conversation points for us, and we're going to go over these once they're out there. So when you see a link for straw poll and what we're doing, it's because Rod makes his pick, I make my pick, and then we want you to have your say in who you might agree with or add your comments, and we want to have that interactive background and interactive fun with anyone that likes the show and a fan of the show. So thank you very much for those who have, and for those who haven't, don't be shy. Click, and we're good to go.
Let's
do it. We have a lot of places that we like to go to, and when I'm in Montreal, I like to hit up Check Swings Comics out in Brossard. That's one of my favorite places to go. Check it out. A lot of stuff you can find there, from sports cards to comic books, new back issues, a whole 9 yards. If they don't have it, they'll order it in. Talk to my boy Trevor. Trevor will let you know, and that's for sure. And here in Ontario, when I'm here and then goes close by, so to speak, I'll drive out to Kitchener. And in Kitchener, there's Wow Comics for Warehouse of Wonder. Once again, they have 500,000 comic books on 2 floors. 2 floors. It's huge. And they're out in Kitchener. Look out for my boy Wes and the rest of the staff. Tell them that you heard about it on the Iconist Podcast. Go out there, say hi, and spread the love. You can't miss out. And you want to see more of what these stores look like, then there's videos on our webpage here, on our YouTube page, where you can see me do a speed run through Wow Comics on both floors, and you see me in Brossard out in the Check Swing. So definitely check those 2 out. And then for people that support the show and fans of the show and other things that we interact with, we always encourage that this is not the only show that you have to watch. You could, just like a TV station has many shows. Well, we have a lot of friends that are doing their own shows, and we like to promote them as much as possible.
Let's go.
That's right. So here it comes in. Hold on. Here comes the round table, as I like to call it. So first and foremost, my buddy Paul Ash, stand-up comedian out of Montreal, took me under his wing. Great person. And he has a lot of shows going on. He's got BattleCom, which is a nerd game show. They Talk Funny, which is a great interview show of comedians all across North America or across the world. He gets it, and then the other one, The Check-In, with him and Mike Gabash. Always fun. Oh, and then what I keep forgetting about the past couple episodes, The Love Doctor. So if you have questions that deal with relationships, you can reach out to him and his persona, The Love Doctor, where he's giving those like actual real good advice. So Paul Ash, thank you very much. And, definitely be a friend of the show. And I've been on a couple of his, so it's always fun to see. Another one is Jimmy English, Back to the Balcony. You look for the microphone on the red background and see Jimmy with his weekly guest. Every week there's a different guest talking about movies, taking a second look at the movies and finding little tidbits and having fun with it and seeing it from different points of view. So always fun to be on that show, fun to listen to it. They've been doing season 2, and you can look in the past to see his past Christmas episodes. Hilarious. So definitely look him up. And then the guys I run with when I'm performing live, or the other station I'm on, is A Touch of Gray Matter, with A Touch of Gray comedy, put together by Dave Sokolowski, with myself, Thomas Patrice, and Zulf Ali, as we like to call him, the Make-A-Wish kid, because there's many jokes on there. And we're like the Canadian version of the Plastic Cup Boys or Blue Collar Comedy, whatever you identify it. We're the new troupe for you here, Canada. And we want to work for more than just Timbits and coffee. So come on, help us out. Look it up. We have like 4 shows that drop, weekly on that. A lot of fun, from serious to funny. Can't go wrong. And the one that makes us look so pretty, Jay Bird Digital Arts, great friend of the show. Jason Reese, thank you so much for doing the template, the logo, and all that other stuff you do to make us look pretty, because if not, we would just be 2 guys with windows on Zoom, black background, but here it gives a little pizzazz. That's for sure. So look him up. Any kind of media or anything you need done, definitely reach out to Jaybird Digital Arts. And you can find all the links to everyone I've talked about. At the end of our video, we have a flow code. It's a QR code. You just got to scan it. Boop, and then sure enough, it brings you to all those pages. So you'll see the pages for us, everyone. So, and for the Iconis podcast, you can get it right from the source at iconis.podbean.com. What? Or you can find it on all your streaming places where you get your podcast from, be it from iTunes to Google Podcast to Spotify and so on and so on and so on and so on. So you can't miss it. And don't forget, Barry3D.com has all your social links where you can find all this stuff.
Yep.
All right,
good?
now.
You good?
Yeah. Getting
old,
old,
you need
Rod.
to make it easier like me. That's why you got to make it easy like me.
Go on, Rod. Hit me.
All right, everybody. So here, this is easy. Realize at the end of this how much I'm going to be breathing. So you can find me on Instagram at Mr. Rod C. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/DJ Rod C. No, you also can find me on Facebook at Mr. Rod C. See, I'm breathing okay? I'm okay? I'm just saying.
I got a lot to say.
You got a lot to say.
I got a lot to say.
But that's good, because we got a lot to say today. So this is beautiful. Listen, we are about to have some fun. We're going to bring a character that you are going to listen, you're going to hear, and I'm sure if you're ongoing comic reader, you've heard this particular character before. It's one of those one. He's not an A-lister. No problem. But he's a character that who has made appearance throughout this DC side of it, and as you can see the name of who we're talking about, we'll be talking about the Gentleman's Ghost.
Gentleman Ghost.
There you go. Listen, he's a great guy. I mean, he's a character that you just he may not be your go-to guy, but the suave of this guy, I mean, he's cool. You realize this is a character who should get a little bit more airplay, a little bit more interactions with some heroes, whatever the case may be. He's a villain, as you can tell by the way we're talking, but he's someone who should be, he should be on someone's rogue gallery a little bit more often. Let's just leave it like that.
Yeah. You see, and you bring up a great point because, and before we get into it, so the best way I can say it is this way. I'll be very frank. I think there's a lot of heroes have great rogues galleries, right? And they all have different tiers, right? From A-listers, B, C, D, whatever, but a lot of a lot of heroes have rogues galleries. And I find that a lot of the new writers are coming in are trying to make the newest villain be the baddest person and kind of leave some of the rogues gallery behind. Now, if a hero has a small rogues gallery, then yes, you got to beef it up a little bit more, give them a rotation. You can't be fighting the same people over and over and over again. But sometimes certain villains get tied with heroes, even though you don't see them often, right? I know at one point, for example, Batman and Joker, they only gave Joker storylines once a year, so not to overplay Batman always fighting Joker. Even though all you hear is, you think Batman, you think Joker, he's only had one storyline a year. The rest of the year, Joker's nowhere around Batman. Right? That's how it used to be. And so forth. So you're right. He's kind of in and out. So breaking it down, let's get out. Gentleman Ghost has been around for a long time. How long, Barry? Well, we're going to tell you. The Gentleman Ghost is a super villain, and he appeared in DC publications, right? Created by the writer Robert. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess this up. Kaniga. Okay. Robert Kaniga. Talking about Evil Knievel. Okay, right? Yeah. And the artist was Joe Kubert. And now Joe Kubert's has done a lot. His kids have done stuff. He's, up there, Jack Kirby. Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, thank you. Thank you for your service, sir. Thank you. You see his name. You salute and say, thank you for your service, sir. And he first appeared in Flash Comics number 88, right? In October of 1947. Wow. Now, I know what you're saying.
Let that sit for a second. That's a long time.
1947. Now, when you're hearing me say Flash, comics, you're like, oh, Barry, you mean the Flash? No, not the Flash. Flash comics, different things. The Flash is Barry Allen, Earth 1. Flash comics, which came out way before that, is Jay Garrick, Earth 2. Right. And Flash comics at the time, you were able to buy those for a nickel or a dime, something like that. Would have the main hero, which is Flash, Jay Garrick. And then it would have full out backup stories. So when we see a backup story in today's age, you would have, okay, a 28-page comic book and then maybe a 4-page backup story in there. If there's a backup story there, it was the full comic of the main person, which was a Flash, Jay Garrick, the one with the little helmet, looked like Hermes. And then the backup story would be still another 12 pages.
Right.
One of my favorite, Hawkman, Earth 2 Hawkman.
Right.
Differences. So, and this is where we're getting into Earth 2 and all that. Pre-Crisis of Infinite Earths, 1947. Just want to set that up for you. So, the Gentleman Ghost. Gentleman Ghost. It's almost Gentleman Goth. That would be Gentleman Goth. That would be the modern day version of it. I'm Gentleman Goth. I'm known as Emo Kid. Okay, enough of my bad jokes. So Gentleman Ghost, he came out and said 1947. Wow. And on Earth 2, he was going by the name of James Caddick. So he was a criminal. He used special tricks and gadgets, to pretend he was a ghost. And that's who, and a lot of times he would fight Hawkman and Hawkgirl. Now these are the Earth 2 ones. So this is, Hawkman, Carter Hall, and Shara Hall, right? That were the archaeologists that found the 9th metal and realized they were reincarnated from the Egyptian prince Khufu. And that's where he would get into the play with it. So that's why I'm saying Earth 2, because the Earth 1 Hawkman at the time was from the planet of Thanagar. Right. And he was a space cop, him and Sherry, his wife, Shara. Yes. So that's where it's going to get into. So that was post-Crisis Infinite Earths. After that, the Earth 2 one. And in there, James was, and then they kind of merged it together and they kind of retconned it a little bit. But so James Caddick, he was the son of an Englishman. He was a gentleman. This gentleman abandoned him and his mom, which pretty much left them in poverty. So the only way for him to get around was to start robbing people and become a highwayman. So a highwayman back in the day was use a crook. Even though, see, that's how dignified it is back in the day. It's, what are you? I'm a highwayman. Oh, okay. Highwayman. That sounds cool. Like it was a nice 80s show, but that's a different story. But a highwayman is like, yeah, means you crook. You rob people off the street. You rob people on the highway in between town. That Robin Hood and his merry men were really highwaymen.
Real talk.
Right on. So that's what it was, is that he turned around and started robbing people in England during the 19th century. And he went under the name of Gentleman Jim. So he was a crook called Gentleman Jim. Like a big guy's called Tiny.
Right.
A guy missing his left arm is called Lefty. He was a robber, but he was a gentleman. And that was his name was Gentleman Jim. So at one point after he went and saw a gypsy, the gypsy told him that he would end up, getting killed at one point. Right. And he's like, okay, whatever. And then he got he encountered other ghosts, so to speak. And one of those highwaymen was Dick Turpin, T-Pin, right? And he left him a horse. And he ended up going over to the United States and he encountered 2 gunslingers. Now, Dick T-Pin, and once again, Tupin, Turpin is a real person. Now, this is what I like. It's like they kind of took real history and incorporated a little bit of real with a fantasy. So this Dick person really was a true highwayman in history back then. So that's how they tied it away. So, Gentleman Jim ends up leaving England, the UK, goes over to the States. And while there, he encounters these 2 gunslingers, right? One went by the name of Nighthawk and the other one went by Cinnamon, right? And Nighthawk was a little bit of a how can we say?
Hothead.
He was a hothead. That man had a temper. He would fly off the handle quick. And during an incident, Nighthawk accused Gentleman Jim of wrongly. He assumed that he sexually assaulted Cinnamon, right? Mm-hmm. And Nighthawk lost his temper, and that led to Gentleman Jim getting, beaten, lynched, and killed.
Right.
Oh, okay. So a crook got wrongly accused for a crime he didn't commit and paid the ultimate price for it.
Mm.
Now, what happened is at this point is, okay, once again, comics is comics. Dead is not dead. So his ghost is now in this in-between phase and gets approached because it's like the gypsy's curse. And it turns out that, the curse is like, you can't move on to the afterlife. You're going to stay here as a ghost until the person that killed you passes over to the other plane. Meaning that Nighthawk had to die at some point. So once Nighthawk died, Nighthawk would come in, and then Gentleman Jim can move on fully to the afterlife.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a snafu with that. So if you're waiting for someone to die, yeah, natural causes, depending on this stuff, you're a gunslinger, it's bound to happen sooner than later, but that person,
remember the names we kind of mentioned before? Remember the names we mentioned before?
Yeah, so Nighthawk and Cinnamon. If you know Hawkman and Hawk Girl, reincarnation. So that's what happened is Nighthawk was the reincarnated, and Cinnamon was reincarnated of the prince and princess from back in Egypt, Prince Khufu, that got killed off and then reincarnated every time generation. The Hawks have lived many lives. So the ninth metal is kind of given that property to do that. So can you imagine that you're wrongly accused, you get killed off, the person that killed you off, you can't move on fully to the afterlife until they die, and every time they die, it's like, oh, here it is, okay, I'm free to go. What do you mean the door's still locked? Yeah, reset. Reboot. What do you mean? What? Excuse me? What? What do you mean reboot? What do you mean we're back again? No, he died and he's alive again. She died, she's alive again. What? They've assumed new identities. Oh, come on. So, yeah, Carter Hall, archaeologist Hawkman, created himself a villain, which I find interesting because in the upcoming Black Adam movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, yes, you always have to put The Rock when you say his name.
You have to.
Show the respect. Do the salute. Mm-hmm. He's playing Black Adam, and in his movie, Hawkman is in there.
Right.
And they've kind of merged the two. From what I see, I haven't seen no trailers, no spoilers, but we know they talk about this Hawkman coming from Thanagar and this Hawkman landing in Egypt. So he's got the nth metal. It's going to lead to reincarnation, hopefully. And, they've done something different where they made Hawkman black. Not even light skin. He black. And I'm okay with that. I'm just saying that hopefully they go with this reincarnation episode, part of it. And this could lead into its own Hawkman movie, which I would so love.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but Gentleman Ghost would be a main adversary, because if you're a ghost and you're waiting for that one person to die that killed you off wrongly, I mean, you've done bad stuff, but for this particular crime, it wasn't you, and you're waiting for them to die, and they just keep getting reincarnated all the time, that means Gentleman Jim
can never cross over.
Never, ever.
Continuously. You're in a continuous loop like Doctor Strange with Dormonji.
Hey, Dormonji.
I've come to bargain.
I've come to bargain. Oh.
Hilarious.
Right? So this is wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So now he started off, and now he's a real ghost.
Mm-hmm.
So to see him, he's dressed in the 1900s attire. He's got a top hat. He's got a monocle. You can never see his face. He's always in white. So the top hat's in white. The monocle is in white. He's got on the, dress pants and a shirt, and even wears gloves, and even wears a cape over.
I'm about to say, yep.
Right?
Raincoat type of cape, yeah, the cane, everything.
Right? Cane, whole time, but you never see his face. His face is totally invisible. So the face you never see, but you see the rest of him. And he's a ghost. He has the powers of a ghost. He can walk through objects. He can manifest. He can actually summon other dead people to help him out. He's a true out ghost, waiting for his time to go to the afterlife, waiting for Hawkman to fully die and not being reincarnated. But how do you stop being reincarnated if it's something out of your control? Because Hawkman just keeps, every time he dies, like, I'll be back. He's worse than Arnold.
Gotta look at that way, yeah. Definitely.
He's the original, I'll be back. I'll be back as a prince. I'll be back as a gunslinger. I'll be back as a different version of myself. I'll be back as Hawkman from a different planet. So it's not even saying he's regulated Earth. That's how they kind of did it since Post, right? That he always reincarnated. And then one version was him reincarnated from Thanagarian. It's so messy with Hawkman. But that's what it is since, Crisis and trying to merge things together. So yeah, that kind of sucks for him. And he's crossed paths with other heroes. I mean, obviously he's fought the Hawks, right? When I mean Hawkman, Hawkwoman, Hawkgirl, how we want to refer to them. He's fought them. He's fought the Flash. He's fought the Atom. He's fought the new Teen Titans. He's fought Max Mercury. He's fought Stargirl. Stargirl's on TV right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And in Stargirl, there's a lot of the Justice Society that's there. Okay.
Yeah. That's a possibility.
It could be written. It could happen. Could happen. With Stargirl being on TV, Jay Garrick Flash is around, and Hawkman is showing up in a movie.
You can put something together, people. Something can be put together.
Something can be thrown in. He's teamed up with other villains. So the Secret Society of Supervillains. He's had that whole run, and he's been around since. He's not been gone. I mean, when they did, Post-Crisis, and then they, the New 52, they did that whole run. DC Rebirth, he's still around. He's been around for a while.
That's what I'm saying. This is a good character. It's not like he came on the block in 1947 and he kind of like trailed off and they just like let him just, sunset. They kept bringing him back to this day. You can even find him on Teen Titans Go as a small character on an episode. But the show, as recent as that, he's on there as well. So it's just to show that this is a character who has a longevity, who has the ability to say, okay, let's see what you could do with me. And let's put some stuff together. And
Absolutely.
It can clearly work out very well.
Yeah, even to your point, Rod, he was even in an episode of Batman Brave and the Bold. It was more the kind of a campy cartoon. He showed up in that.
This is the thing, like it's there. That's what I mean. Like, and when did Brave and the Bold came out? Brave and the Bold came out easily 7-10 years ago type of scenario.
Easy.
So that's it's just showing that hey, it's still possible that this guy is he's still within reach. People are still talking about him, bringing him back. So yeah, this is the character that we that can definitely make some movements and can come back in.
Come on, man. Give me a team up with him and Solomon Grundy to take on some of the Justice League members. Wow. Okay. Right. See that there. And that's another part, right? So, and they should work together depending on, not depending, but seeing how their past stories were, it would make sense.
Yeah.
They would understand each other a lot more than a modern day thing. So he's seen the world evolve over the years from where gunslinging to now there's podcasts and smartphones. He's understanding. He's seen that transition. He fought Alan Scott, the Earth 2
original Earth 2 Green
Lantern. Exactly. Right. And they had their face off a couple of times. So he's there in the Rogues Gallery. I mean, to me, in my mind, I see him attached to the Rogues Gallery of Hawkman and Hawkgirl. That's where he's officially in that Rogue Gallery. But he's in some other ones also, but I think that's the main one. And to me, it makes sense. And at times he's come and he's actually helped them out. And other times he's worked against them. So sometimes he's kind of the anti-hero. He's trying to help them out. But the bottom line is you have to see this character come. I mean, if he can't move on because one, the hero killed him off, and then you can't move on because that hero keeps reincarnated all the time, so he never truly dies. The anger that this guy should have, like the whole storyline, the whole plot line for me should be something along the lines of Gentleman Ghost trying to find ways to not just kill off Hawkman, but find a way that he will not be reincarnated and then have him killed off. That there is his motivation. And why? Right. Because he's tired of being a ghost and he wants to move on to the other plane. That's it's dark, but that's, you know, he's a villain. He's supposed to be dark. Come on, son. Shout out to Ed Lover.
Nice. But that's it. Like, basically, this character has the there's potential. There's a story. There's a story that you can play off of that. What is the luck? What are the chances that you get cursed? Because again, if you look at it from that standpoint, he got cursed before he died. Was told you're going to die. Yeah. He blew that off.
Right.
But he gets cursed. Then the person you're gonna die. You died, but you've been told if you die, you're going to be, you'll pass on. Fine. Okay, fine. I thought I still had a couple more years in the belt. Yeah, fine. But then you find out that the person that killed you, he's on a reset button. What? This Matrix? This is the glitch? He's coming back. He's like you said, come on, son. That's all it is. So you can understand the buildup and the frustration for this character, what he has to go through. And you can just say like, hey, I'm just looking to, well, that's it. You can be doing this as a series, as we said, you can do this as a series and you can just go, and whenever you decide to let him go, find a backdoor how he can bypass the gypsy curse or whatever the case may be. But you can see that his transition of being a villain, then he, alive, become a villain, dead, and then realize like, yeah, certain times I'm going to help out and, do some good at least, or whatever the case may be. And then just get frustrated with this whole scenario and realizing, listen, I just want to go. I've seen too much stuff. I'm originally from the 19th century. In the 21st century now, that's 200 years. I've been floating in and out, waiting for this guy to completely kick the bucket. And he keeps tapping the bucket. I'm like, I'm tired. For 200 years, I'm just floating. I'm like in and out. I can't even smoke my cigar per se. Actually, I think he can. He just has an imitation kind of thing. At least that's
yeah.
I think so. But the fact is,
I didn't inhale.
I didn't inhale indeed. But this is where it gets so.
Yeah.
There's story. There's stories here. There's a story here.
That's a story here. That's my point.
Let's work on that.
Yeah, there's absolutely a story. And I think, look, so right away, and even in the past, if you watch the Justice League cartoon, you realize that when Shiera has her mace, the nth metal mace, a lot of times it's used to fight supernatural creatures. So she fights Solomon Grundy and has to put Solomon Grundy down permanently at one point, right? Correct. Dr. Fate calls on her, who's also in the Black Adam movie. So not only is Thanagar and that nth metal scientific on Earth, it has a lot of mystical properties, meaning that Hawkman and Hawkgirl don't just fight physical villains like the Shadow Thief and the Brythe, the shape changer from Thanagar, and other people, Gentleman Ghost and other supernatural. They should have more of a link with the supernatural than they've shown at times. They've touched on it. They've come in and they've had their supernatural storylines, but I think sometimes they get away from it. I think it really should come back. It would be interesting to have that more going on, especially with all these characters coming in. So there's a lot of branching out for it to happen.
Oh, hold on. Let me just think of something. What's the name? Maybe because it's an anime, but was there a dark with Constantine and so forth? There was like a dark.
Justice League Dark.
Dark, right? Justice League Dark. Thank you.
Yeah.
See, this is where you can definitely incorporate him.
Yes.
Into that easily.
But
into that easily.
But he's a villain, so he could fight them, and at the same time, he should be dealing with Hawkman and Hawkgirl more often, because they're the only ones that have physical weapons that can affect him.
Right.
him, Solomon Grundy, anyone that uses magic, they have their maces, can affect them. Their harness and their wings protect them from magic spells. Where Superman has that weakness, they don't. So, based with the knowledge that Carter Hall has and Shiera have from Thanagar, their past lives, which they're able to access those memories of past lives. They have that. Archaeologist memory. Okay, so you're trying to tell me you can't find certain artifacts around that's going to help you with certain. They have that, and just like them, Gentleman Ghost should be chasing those things down to find ways to kind of either break his curse or find a way to stop Hawkman from being reincarnated and then off him one time. Dead him off, as you would say. Dead him off. That's it. Thank you very much. We move on. I finally free. You gone. Two birds with one stone. You dead. I'm happy. I move on. So that's where it comes down to. So that being said, I know everyone's going to look at these episodes that we've been doing lately, and we're doing them a little bit shorter to give you more of a chance to listen to them. And it's done intentionally. So if you like the more shorter version of these episodes, let us know. Yeah, please let us know, because we want this to be as enjoyable as everyone. So we don't mind. We can do the hour episodes, or we can aim around that half an hour mark. And I'm just putting it out there because I'm letting everyone know it's a conscious choice. I believe in being transparent and letting our fans know. And please let us know which format you like, or if you're just, I'm good either way. So with that point, Rod, who would you go for to play Gentleman Ghost? Because I know Hawkman's coming in. So if Hawkman 3 is coming in, we're going to talk about that. Who would you like to see play Gentleman Ghost? Who can you pick?
Okay, so here's my mindset. You're going with a Gentleman's Ghost.
Right.
Gentleman Jim.
Yes.
And we're going to have to go with original.
Yes.
What he originally was. I'm sure you can say that he was a suave, debonair type of person. He had the looks. He used that to his advantage. So again, I'm taking money from you on the highway, but I'm not the ruffian, whatever the case to be. So I wanted to go with someone that has some good looks, who, appears well and everything like that. And also because he dies. So we got to do face live, and then we're going to have to do CGI type of thing. It's more vocal for that type of person. So I'm all this rambling on. I would like to say Theo James. Theo James, you may ask. Who's Theo James? If you remember the Divergent series.
Yes.
He was, let me just get back there. He's number 4. Sorry. He was number 4.
Okay.
So he was number 4. Basically the main male character on that series that you always saw, who's always the front with the girl and everything like that. That's fun. But let's go vocal, because at least in that sense, I wanted someone who's Gentleman's Ghost. I was going for someone, with the British chops and be able to speak. Just give me some authentic, what I mean. Let's do that. If you've ever watched Castlevania, he's the voice for Hector.
Oh.
So if you ever listen to him,
yes,
Castlevania, at least
on Netflix. Yeah.
On Netflix.
Yeah.
So shout out to Netflix. Great series. He's the voice of Hector, the blonde one with the shoulder length hair, who's basically used the magical to make the so he made the demons, if I remember correctly, with the hammer and everything like that. When you go back and watch and listen to him, he just has that calm, nice, relaxed. It's not a ruffian. He's just a gentleman. I'm just here to, I'm here to steal for you kind of scenario. So I was going more of the vocal aspect of it, knowing that he did Hector and everything along that line. I'm like, you know what? Let me pull from that. And then definitely when I see who it is, it reminded me, oh yeah, you still even got that nice face, that baby face type of thing, Now, unfortunately, with Gentleman Ghost, as the ghost, you don't see his face, but we'll hear the suave from his voice. He has the vocal acting chops because he's on Castlevania. That you might know I might be key. That's my pick.
Wow. Okay. Good call, man. Good call. I see you dug deep on that one. All right then. All right. So I'm going with so this actor has been around he's done. He's got range. He's got range. And I think he pull it off, and I think he's got that unique voice. So I went with Simon Pegg.
Oh.
Yeah. from Shaun of the Dead,
Yes.
Mission Impossible,
Yes.
Scotty from the new Star
From the Star Trek, right?
Right. I went with Simon Pegg. So physically, Simon Pegg's got the look. Usually, he always plays kind of a jokey character, but he's got charm. He's got charm. In Shaun of the Dead, he was a loser. And the other movie, he played Paul, where they find an alien. Right? He's got charm all the time. He's got charm. And what was it? There's one he played a police officer.
That's
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz. Oh,
Hot Fuzz. Right? Okay, he can be serious.
Yeah.
In Star Trek, he's got humor, he's serious, he's got timing. You know, and the thing is, you would look at him, and if you see him, like I say, in Shaun of the Dead, he doesn't look like someone that would turn around and rob you, but he's someone that was living poor. If you watch him in Mission Impossible, or you watch him in Hot Fuzz, you can tell he's a man of action. At the same time, he's got that unique voice that would transfer into, even not seeing his face, you would know who the actor is. At the same time, he can be a bad man. He can be tough, right? So to see Simon Pegg playing a villain, you know, he's not playing a hero. He's not playing a version of a hero. He's playing a villain. I would like to see it. 2, I believe he can do it. Simon Pegg is who I'm going with.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I can see it. I mean, he has the range. He does have the ability, and he does have, if you could hear the twang and just hear the voice, you know, you can definitely pull it out and you know who he is from that aspect of it. So yeah, you could definitely pull out and know who he is when he speaks. So you definitely, it's definitely impact.
Right? So yeah, that's who I'm going with. So Simon Pegg. So so Simon Pegg is my choice. Your choice again is
Theo James.
So, right? I looked him up and I see it and like, yeah, he's got the suaveness to him. So Theo James for Simon Pegg.
Yeah. And James, you know, look, everybody just go to my side, Gentleman's Jim, Gentleman, Theo, Jim, James. Like, it's already there. It's already written. Just come to this.
Oh my gosh. Look at you trying to sway the vote. Good for you, man.
This is what I gotta do. Everybody know people swaying votes.
Wow. And that's awesome. Look, on that note, thank you everyone for tuning in, listening, watching, and all that. Keep an eye on the end of the video for all our links on our QR code. And you know, and once again, if you can help and donate and help the page grow, that'd be awesome too. We have a Ko-fi page, and you can see that in our link tree. Once again, on behalf of DJ Rod C.
Hey, that's me.
Hey. And his cousin over here, Barry 3D, Deep Dark Delicious. Thank you for tuning in once again to the Iconist podcast. And remember, this whole world started off with a pencil, a piece of paper, and imagination. Keep on dreaming. Peace.
We're out of here, people. We're out.
Shots fired.
Gentleman Jim. Pop, pop, pop. I'm here to... No, okay, stop it. I'm out.
All right.
I'm out.